Typically, I reserve my passion and avoid delving into lyrical discussions about horology. I am a reviewer, so I try to stay objective and have a neutral tone about certain watches, or all the watches. Yet confronted with a timepiece of such pristine freshness and definitive crispness, I find myself compelled to voice my profound appreciation. The Chronograph Panda look is a watch design that's been used and abused by too many horology houses. Sometimes I feel like the essence of time is present, yet the visual appeal is lost in the vast array of colors, unnecessary details, and utter flamboyance coming out from all these brands. This ADDIESDIVE AD2037 is fresh, pure, and stands apart from the rest. It's elegant, chic, classy, and most importantly evokes a classical beauty that whispers a tale of antiquity and sophistication. With its Roman numerals, a domed crystal, and tall pushers, this chronograph watch is so gorgeous. It's very handsome, it's beautiful, and the most important thing is that it's made to last. Well, maybe not for the crystal because it's actually mineral crystal, but we'll talk about that later. Yet we do get a screw down case back here. And this is a completely stainless steel case. As beautiful as the watch is, there are certain elements with it that have nearly served to be a deal breaker for me. Now, let's get into the details and we can discuss the good, strong points as well as the shortcuts or the points that I'm just a bit frustrated with. Because let me tell you, this watch is gorgeous. You don't need me to tell you that. And that touch of historical elegance, something so precise about it. This design is absolutely magnificent. I can't believe that it costs just 60 bucks, yet it does. But then again, to make it cost 60 bucks, fine. We've done the design absolutely great, but we've taken some key shortcuts along the way, and this is what we see with this watch. But it all comes down to the value that this watch will bring to you, the wearer of the watch. Anyways, let's get into the details and dive right in. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 38 millimeters, a height of 12.3 millimeters, a lug-to-lug measurement of 45.5 millimeters, a lug width of 20 millimeters, and a weight of 75 grams with the leather strap. Gazing down at the watch, we note the crisp styling, the elegant elongated lugs, thin bezel on the edges of the domed crystal, and the antiquous look of edge distortions under the crystal edges. Yet by peeking at the profile adds more to the retro-styled appeal. The case seems to have a multi-layered construction. The middle section, a narrow sliver with a finely brushed finish stretching from one lug to the other. The lugs pivot down aggressively, allowing for the dismal 45.5 millimeter lug-to-lug measurement. If we switch to the crown flank, we can see that the pushers and push-pull crown are stemming from that middle section, so the thin sliver which is finely brushed. The rest of the flank is polished to a high gloss. The transition to the lug hoods is done via smooth bevels. In fact, the whole watch seems to have layers upon layers, yet no sharp angles or edges anywhere. The crown is signed, and the two pushers on either side are textured on the tips. The resulting play of light is unique and very captivating. The pusher action is pleasantly heavy and the resistance is similar across both of the pushers. The pusher at 2 o'clock sets off the chronograph, while at 4 it resets it back to 0. On the underside, the screw-down case back stretches brim to brim with the logo in the center and specs outlined on the perimeter. The key detail being that this AD2037 is 100 meters waterproof. There are 2 strap options available, the light tan and the dark brown leather strap. In hindsight, I think the darker strap would have been more appropriate on this watch. The cowhide strap is soft and supple, stitched with white contrasting string. I do like the fact that it's a quick release strap, hence no issues with changing for any other look, especially considering the convenient 20mm lug width. In regards to the clasp, we get a milled yet unsigned clasp. And this brings us to the first shortcut as I see it on this watch. So we get a signed crown, we get decorated pushers, we get a signed case back, and then we get this very generic leather strap. Yeah, it looks nice, It is, it's very subtle, it's very soft, it says that it's genuine leather, but seriously? Like even Mysterious Code, you know, I say even, but still Mysterious Code is not a major brand out there, but it likes to have this customized look, right? So every leather strap will have the brand logo on one side and genuine leather on the other. So I would like to see that on something as elegant as this ADDIESDIVE. Also, another little frustration is that the clasp, yeah, okay, this is a milled clasp, great, it's not tacky nor cheap, but seriously, why couldn't we just have a logo on here, right? So get rid of that generic look. Now, I do appreciate that we don't have a logo on the dial here, but that's a different story. Still, it seems that the augmented product, like again, the crown, the case back, and if the clasp was signed, it would just be so much more special. Now, even though I've talked about this for a bit, it's a small frustration. This is not key considering, well, it's a quick release strap, so most likely you will be replacing it and putting on something that you like a bit more. Anyways, let's keep going. Moving on to the crystal, and this is where I nearly buckled with the watch. You see, it is plain mineral glass. Domed? Yes. Anti-reflective coated? Yes. But it's not sapphire. Considering this watch is set to a price of around 90 to 100 bucks, I didn't want to pay that much because of the mineral crystal. But I got it on a heavy discount. I bought it for just under 60 bucks, or like $58 or something. So to me, that was fine. So at that price point, well, if I don't get sapphire, yeah, maybe it's not great, but hey, with looks like that, as well as this VK movement which we have in here, which gives us the sweeping second, I thought, hey, you know what, it's still a good deal and the design looks spectacular. Great, so I brought it in. But for 100 bucks without sapphire crystal, I'm just not too sure. But anyways, this was nearly the deal breaker for me, and I decided I'm not gonna bring in this watch unless it costs under around 65, 70 bucks. And yeah, when I had a chance to get it for 60, I brought it in. So big consideration for me here. Underneath the dome, we get a matte black dial. The tachymeter scale runs along the perimeter with the minute chapters on the inside track. The white is making for a crisp contrast and clear legibility. The hour indices, represented by dark chrome Roman numerals, catch light reflections to indicate the hours. At 3 o'clock, we have a 24-hour subdial and 0 to 60 minutes chronograph counter at 9 o'clock. The subdials are silver with a radial and sunburst finish. The hands on the main dial and subdials are chromed, elongated and resemble narrow swords. The hands are also unloomed, just like the indices. The dial is balanced and doesn't appear overly busy. The VK64 is Seiko's Mecha Quartz, offering a sweeping seconds hand and variances of just up to 20 seconds per month. Battery replacement is required only every 3 years. So this does make for a robust and dependable timepiece. But considering there is no loom, this is more of a dress watch with undeniably gorgeous proportions and looks. So there we have it. We have a gorgeous watch, which I think is probably one of the best vintage retro chrono lookers out there today. And I'm talking even from the much more expensive brands. This is a handsome piece, no doubt. But some of its shortcomings or flaws are the fact that the shortcuts were taken a bit too much. So unsigned clasp, that's a minor. Quick release strap, you're going to change it most likely anyway to something you like a bit more. But the mineral crystal here, that just doesn't cut it. No, I think if this was sapphire, this could potentially be my everyday all-rounder. But because it's just, yeah, mineral is just a bit tough. I like the fact that it's a chrono. I can even forgive the fact that it doesn't have a date. I don't mind that there's no loom here. It's still very elegant, but it's that crystal. I know I'm stressing this point. It might not be as important to yourself, and that is pretty cool. Anyways, I've left the links to the listing I got the watch from in the description below the video. Make sure to check it out if you're after a sharp price. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought about this watch in the comments below. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.